I want to introduce myself. I'm Tony Romanucci, and I'm an attorney here in Chicago. One of the reasons why I am here is the reason why I'm wearing this pin on my lapel. It looks a little bit like a question mark. It looks a little bit like a 7. You're not really sure what it is. But that 7 means something very, very important, because that 7 is access to justice. That 7 represents the 7th Amendment, the right to a civil jury trial. Because if we know that we have the ability to bring our client's case to a courtroom before a jury, that we have the opportunity to complete and close the loop for why they came to us in the first place. Because they were harmed by a wrong, by a tort, by an act of negligence. When we are at trial, and either sometimes before or sometimes afterwards, depending on what the judge is thinking or what he or she wants to do, that judge will tell the jury to empower them, to energize them. That judge will tell the jury, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your service. I know that the lawyers are honored to have had you on the jury. You know that the victim is honored to that you've heard the case, you've listened to all the evidence. And remember, this is the only country in the world where you are guaranteed the constitutional right to a trial. Isn't that amazing? You think about that. This is the only country in the world. We're not talking about criminal trial. We're talking about the 7th Amendment. Nowhere else in the world. And we have that right, and we aim to keep it.
My name's Matt Adair, and I practice in the field of asbestos litigation, representing clients with mesothelioma. I wanted to maybe just take a few minutes and update everyone on, kind of where we're at with asbestos litigation in the state of Illinois, and a lot of these trends apply nationally, of course. A lot of people are familiar that asbestos has been litigated, these types of cases now for, at least 40 years. And I wanted to just maybe touch on a few of those challenges that we deal with in our cases that might be applicable to some of the folks in the room here tonight. From a medical standpoint and a scientific standpoint, we're finding new theories used against our clients every year. The one that we hear more and more often these days, it's this idea that not all asbestos is dangerous and not all asbestos causes cancer. In this country, 95% of the asbestos that was used is chrysotile asbestos that comes from Canada. And so some of these companies that have been named in the litigation, they've actually gone as far as funding studies to prove or to try and prove that chrysotile asbestos does not cause cancer. We're also facing more complex defenses such as genetic mutation. It's known as the BAP1 or BAP1 tumor predisposition syndrome. And what it means in a few words is that some people have a genetic predisposition to certain types of cancer, like mesothelioma. And the theory goes that it's that genetic predisposition that caused the cancer, not the exposure to asbestos. And the final theory that I'll just mention here, it's this idea that mesothelioma is what's known as a dose-response disease, meaning that the more you are exposed to asbestos, the more likely you are to come down with the disease. And the reason for that is because the client demographic is changed. Originally, the traditional asbestos clients were tradesmen and construction workers that worked with asbestos products. Now we're seeing more and more diverse professions and individuals getting exposed. And a lot of times they're getting exposed to a lot less asbestos, which makes that theory a lot harder for us to deal with.